Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't, hi, I'm Grace. You can go back and watch my other videos and see where I come from, who I am, and what I stand for, I guess. Today I'm going to talk about a more, I guess, serious topic. I just gave birth to my baby boy Noah. He is 5 weeks as of today. I'm here to talk about silent reflux in babies. A lot of people like kind of just brush it off because everybody has reflux. It just depends on what extent, you know, each person has reflux. And on babies, it can be really hard on them. So the reason why I say silent reflux is because there's regular reflux where kids just throw up as they eat. It burns their chest and everything. And there's silent reflux where food from the stomach goes up and just stays on the esophagus. It goes right back down. It's constant, like goes up and down, up and down. So what happens is when you give them a bottle, they would be very uncomfortable trying to burp. And as I go further into the video, I'm going to say some signs that I had to look out for since I've had it with my first son and now with my second. It is exhausting because at night time you just want to breastfeed your kid and then, you know, call it a day and just go to sleep. But you gotta burp him, and when you burp him, it's just a whole process. So I'm here basically to tell moms out there that are going through the same thing as me that it is a real thing. A lot of people downplay it, but it is a real thing, and it is a real struggle with babies that people just tend to ignore or like treat as if it's not an issue. It is an issue, especially if you're a working mom. I can imagine for, you know, if you're going to work, which I am going back in a little bit. So if you're going to work, you're barely getting any sleep because your baby's uncomfortable all day. You can't really put them on their back because they're choking and it's just long. Basically, now, like I said, there's just regular reflux where they spit up, and then there's silent reflux where they're just really uncomfortable. They barely spit up. They could, in my cases, and both my boys, they don't spit up. It's just really uncomfortable. I'm going to talk about first some of the things that you should be looking out for. Now, like I say, since my first one had it, it was a little bit easier to, you know, see what if my second one had it or not. First thing that they do is they arch their back. After they finish eating, they just arch their back in agony. From what I read and from what I see, it feels like it's really hot in their chest, so they would arch their back so that the burp actually doesn't come out, which kind of is against them because they actually need the burp to come out. Second thing that I noticed is that when he's taking the bottle, he would get a little bit like whiny. He would get really uncomfortable and sometimes even cry and like move around, wiggle around. He's really restless when he's on, you know, the breastfeeding. I started pumping, and what I do is I would just mix my breast milk with my formula. Now, they do say if you have a, you know, baby with reflux to thicken your milk with some rice cereal, which I do. But if you add breast milk in it, it kind of breaks down the enzymes that is supposed to work to sit in their stomach, because you need something heavy enough to sit in their stomach. But I still do it. I just use a bottle with a really small nipple. That's another thing. Like if you have a kid with reflux, you can't just use any old bottle. I personally use Dr. Brown. That's just when I have regular milk. And the milk that I use is Similac Pro Sensitive. You honestly just have to see what works for your baby. My first baby, Similac did not work. It was terrible. It was way too light for him, but Enfamil worked. With my second baby, it's the opposite. Enfamil is way too light for him. Similac works, but I can't use regular Similac because that will just set him off. Like he would be crying for hours at a time. I hear some parents say that, you know, they babies with reflux cry about 20 something hours a day. That's not the case with me, so I have it a little bit better. It would be like 3 to 4 hours a day. It's gotten a little better now that he takes a shower, because when he doesn't feel well, I'll just put him in a shower, in a warm shower. It makes him feel a little bit better. You just have to see what goes with your kid. So what you need to relieve kind of the pain is, one, you need to elevate whatever they sleep in. So if they sleep in the bassinet, make sure you have like pillows under it, you know, to kind of elevate it. And I don't mean like on the bassinet, I mean like right under the actual mattress. Number two, get you some Dr. Brown's, because those will help. Now if I'm thickening the milk, Dr. Brown of course doesn't work, because Dr. Brown has a straw in it and the cereal gets stuck in there. So I use Mums for those when I thicken the milk. And I would still, like I said, I would still put my breast milk in it, because I do feel like he needs it. And then, so that's number two. Number three, get you some probiotics. I mean, talk to your pediatrician about this, or to your GI about this. So number three, get you some probiotics. Number four, I know many people are a little bit iffy about giving their kids medicine at that little age, but Zantac, with my first one it did not help much. With my second one, I think it might be helping just a little bit, because he is getting better at the discomfort. Like, he's not crying as much as he used to. So he's crying a few hours less than he was before. So ask your doctor about your Zantac. I mean, he still has a few appointments coming up. He has like a swallow study. That's where they check your air pipe and food pipe to see if it's maybe crossing each other. I don't know what word I was going to use, but if it's maybe your food is maybe going into the other pipe, or your air is going into the other pipe. So he has that study, and I'll come and update you guys on that to see what they find. And so Zantac is just a beginner medicine, I guess, if you are bottle feeding. I would recommend, now I did not want to bottle feed for this one, I just wanted to do breast milk, but it works. He sleeps better and he feels better when it's heavier milk. To be honest, no one is really making heavy breast milk that I know of. If you are, holler at me so I can buy some of your breast milk and feed my baby. But breast milk is just lighter than formula, so it doesn't really sit well in the stomach, so it goes up and down the esophagus more than formula would. So get formula that's sensitive, so he doesn't, you know, he's not choking or anything like that. When you lay him down, watch your baby, because they will be choking. They will be wailing their arms if they're choking. It is a little bit scary. He doesn't choke as much as my first one did, but if you're laying him down, he will choke a few times, but it's not as bad. Oh, and if you do want to be exclusively breastfeeding, please pump and feed them from a bottle. I know it sounds like, why would I do that? But because in a bottle you can actually tell how much milk is coming, meaning you have a smaller nipple, like the Dr. Brown bottles. You have a straw that allows you, or allows your baby to take just a little bit at a time, so it can help the reflux, versus with your breast, it just comes out however it comes out, however they're pulling it out. One thing is, if your child has like a lot of trouble burping, if they are calm enough to take a pacifier, if you stick a pacifier there in their mouth and they suck a few times, it will get the burp out. And I've found that out with my first one, and it's a lifesaver. Like, just put the pacifier in their mouth, a few sucks, they will burp it out if they're calm enough, because sometimes they're just so out of control that you can't even help it. And then another thing is a lot of skin to skin or TLC. So if you don't have, you know, time to always skin to skin, just you putting them on your chest makes them feel so much better. And just hugging, and I kid you not, it makes a difference, like when they're just laying there, and when you actually give them TLC, they feel much better, they calm down. I find that with my son, this time around, talking in his ear or singing in his ear, he would literally just calm down. So I guess it's just a assurance of like, oh, you know, someone is here and they got me. Oh, tummy time. Now, I lay my baby on his tummy. I know there's a bunch of, no, you shouldn't do that. But I feel comfortable laying him on his tummy because one, the surface that he sleeps in is super rigid. Yes, I know the SIDS outbreak, you know, but I personally, for those that don't know what SIDS is, it's sudden death in infants. People say that if you lay your baby on their stomach, they're more prone to suffocate to death. But I would rather put them on his stomach than on his back because he chokes really bad. And if he chokes, then I have no way of, you know, if I'm sleeping, it's so silent because he doesn't make much noise when he's choking. So yeah, I'd rather sleep him in his back. And when I sleep him in his back, he would sleep for about an hour and a half. And like I say, I keep saying I'm one of the lucky ones. There are some people where they have to stay up, like upright, and we get those weeks where we have to stay upright for him to be able to, you know, sleep well. But for most of the time, we can put him down for 20-30 minutes at a time, an hour. We've got an hour and a half, 2 hours. So yeah, I put them on their stomach. I know people have the whole sits thing, but I just feel more comfortable him being on his stomach than on his back. And once you elevate the bed, yes, they will slip and slide, but as a mom anyway, you're barely sleeping, so you're waking up every 30 minutes or so. You can just push him back up. And yeah, so I just came out, this video was more like what I do for my kid with reflux, and that I understand that it's hard to explain to other people that your kid has, because people just don't take, I don't know why, but people just don't take it as seriously as other things going on with newborns. And I'm here to tell you that I get it. I get all the sleepless nights and everything. So if this video can help someone out there, that would be awesome. If it's just informational, great. If it didn't do anything for you, thank you for watching. But yeah, I just thought it was important for me to make this video because I watch a bunch of other videos of moms going through this with no support. So here I am, my second time around with a baby with reflux. This time around it is a little better than it was before, but my first one had it for a shorter period of time. It literally just overnight got better. I feel like right after he started eating solid foods, it got better. So I'm hoping that that's the case with this one, or even earlier, because he is showing signs of getting better. And don't let no doctor tell you because he's gaining weight, he's not suffering. He's suffering if he's suffering. That's just it. If you feel like your kid is just not doing well, talk to somebody about it. Ask them if they can refer you to a GI, because GIs are more understanding, because I guess this is their domain. This is like what they went to school for, so they're better with this entire thing than your pediatrician would be. But my pediatrician was really nice about it because he knew that I had gone through the same thing with my first one. So one other thing that is supposed to relieve your baby's reflux, because they tend to be very gassy, they say gas drops. Now I tried a few brands. Little Remedy worked a little bit, but from history from my first one, gas drops just make it worse. So I feel like if you give your baby a gas drop now, it makes them worse just to make them better. So I don't use those. You can go ahead and use them. They say it's supposed to relieve them, but yeah, that's not my cup of tea. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Give this a thumbs up, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.